And we are back with another beautiful Tuesday edition of the Doin Alright podcast. Me and Bryan Broaddus. Bryan Broaddus is in San Fran right now, remote radio row there. Now, Bryan, yesterday, okay, I'm just watching film on your surroundings there. Yesterday, you was kind of sitting in this open area, and it was just a bunch of miscellaneous people walking by you, okay?
Yeah.
And the first thing you said to me was, "Boy, it's some nice setups up in here, man. One day, Crown will have a nice setup." I'm looking to your left, our right, and it seems like there's an elevated platform with screens, moving cameras, and a light setup like we got in our studio. Who the hell are these people to your left there, Bryan Broaddus?
Yeah, we got FanDuel, and then on the other side,
Who's this man
off
riding his
camera.
bike behind you, Bryan Broaddus? That's what I'm saying.
Man, they got all kinds of things. I'll tell you what's incredible is to watch them. You know what Zach did. Zach Rowe, our outstanding producer, what he did when he was putting up the lights and helping with all that. Very similar to what's going on behind me right now. Tuesday's a big day. We showed up on Monday. Things were kind of a little bit slow. Now you're starting to see business pick up, and you got the light setups, the sets. ESPN has a gorgeous set. Of course, it's ESPN. I was telling Zach Rowe that their engineering setup. We have a beautiful one at Crown Global Media, where Zach is able to flip around and make us look beautiful, make you look beautiful. But you're already that way. But their setup is probably 7 or 8 times the size with all the bells and whistles. And you're like, okay, I see why the Pat McAfee show fires off. I see why ESPN does what they do. But super proud to be here. Super proud of what we've done at Crown Global Media, by the way, too. Our setup is second to none. And, I really do appreciate Zach and Caitlin, Steve, and yourself, Voch, for, getting this thing started the way you have. We've been really blessed in a lot of ways. So I thank you guys so much for being along on the journey.
Appreciate you, man. We got to make a little money so I can ride around on one of them yellow things that just went past you.
Yeah, they're working on them lights behind me, man. It's a bustling. We got some bustle stuff going on here.
What is Voch doing on that nag? All right, cool. Here we go. So, Bryan, I had a thought for you, okay?
Yes, sir.
I'm looking over these mock drafts, man. I'm trying to figure out.
Oh, I had a question for you on this thing, too.
Perfecto. I don't even know which one you talking about. I'm just talking about general, right? Watch this.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out the path of least resistance. You feel me?
Okay.
I'm trying to figure it out. Of course, in a perfect world, the Cowboys would go best defender available at 12, okay? Dante Moore, the quarterback from Oregon, really threw a monkey wrench in your program there by going back to school. All right, cool, bet. Bryan, in order for the Cowboys to get a defender that we feel great about, what we need is 2 offensive linemen to go top 11, the running back, and we feel like that's going to happen. But, Bryan, if we get one of those receivers to go, somebody going to fall to us. We 12 overall, Bryan. Something going to happen. I don't know if it's going to be pass rusher, the safety, the linebacker, or what, but you need at least one receiver. So what I've been keeping tabs on, Bryan, I think PFF has a decent feel for what's going here. I don't know if they're corresponding with the league or if they're talking to scouts or if it's just a collective of guys or if it's just kind of one guy, but I'll watch this PFF top 300 list kind of fluctuate and move up and down. You know what I'm saying? So a couple of weeks ago, Bryan, we know that some of the players that's probably going to go in the third round be in the top 10. We let these boards develop. But I'm looking at PFF's board now, Bryan. Something is on here now that wasn't on here a little bit ago. They got 3 wide receivers listed in their top 10, Bryan. Jordan Tyson is their 7th overall player. Carnell Tate is their 8th. Mekhi Lemon is their 10th. Now, Bryan, there's no way that the Cowboys would be lucky enough you'd be happy with 1. 2 is incredible. God bless if you get 3 receivers to go in that top 12 for you to really let one of these defenders fall to you, Bryan. You could be talking about the safety at that point, Bryan. There's no way that one of these wide receivers will fall. Well, that 3 of these wide receivers go early like that, huh, Bryan? You're on mute, Bryan. It's okay. It's all right. Touch the top of your microphone, Bryan. It's probably one of them situations.
My apologies. There we go. My apologies. Old man technology. I saw that thing. I saw that audio thing, and I was like, man, is that supposed to be on? And I should have just let it go, I didn't. My apologies.
I got you.
But, I'll say this. I don't think PFF has a real good handle of who the top wide receiver is. And I think this is where we're now in this mode, Voch, where we got the All-Star games have just been completed.
Yep.
And media scouts are starting to talk to the real scouts.
Yes.
We're getting to that phase. And I think these guys, and I'm going to run a mock draft past you from a guy I think that's very, very well connected at NFL.com, Lance Zierlein.
Mm-hmm.
And Lance Zierlein does something that I think is pretty interesting. But to your point, I don't think anybody has a real good understanding of how they've got these receivers stacked. We've seen where Tyson has gone very high. We've seen where Tate has gone very high. Lemon has been involved, in this stuff. So I kind of feel like that PFF is trying to kind of hedge their bets a little bit. But PFF in their mock draft, Downs gets to you. And Voch, please allow me this latitude here.
Go ahead.
I'm going to give you this question. And I say it in this way. The Lance Zierlein of NFL.com gives you Caleb Downs in his mock draft.
Okay.
Is it starting to show more and more? Are NFL scouts starting to whisper about these safeties? And maybe the safeties are the ones that, when a guy like Downs that we feel like has always been like a top 10 guy. Yeah. And you're kind of walking me through how I can maybe get Downs. Mm-hmm. But do you think at coming off the All-Star games and the conversations that Lance Zierlein is hearing something about Caleb Downs, and Pro Football Focus is hearing something about Caleb Downs, and maybe teams are like, yeah, you guys got that Downs too high. Yeah. You got Downs too high. Are we starting to see a little bit of a correction? And without your navigation of having receivers and linemen stuff go, would Caleb Downs maybe naturally be there for you at 12?
Bryan, this the problem. This the big problem. I cover the Cowboys, okay?
Right.
And when you cover the Cowboys, and I think in a certain level of optimism, people call you a homer. Okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. I feel you. You can call me a homer. It's cool. I'd be right, but call me a homer. I think if you have a high level of optimism about this Caleb Downs thing, people will refer to you as a homer. But Bryan, it never fails, Bryan. We had the same conversation about Malachi Starks, the same conversation about Deion Branch, the same one about Kyle Hamilton, Bryan. Safety's gonna fall. Safety's always going to fall.
You've been consistent about that. You've been consistent. I just wonder now, we're starting to see post All-Star games.
Yeah.
We're starting to see more and more of the conversations. Mock drafts had Caleb Downs in the top 8 every single time.
Sure.
And now we're, the last 2 mock drafts that I've seen, and one of a very respected media member who has great connections in the league at NFL.com, has put him with you. And I wonder if we're starting to, maybe we don't need a plan to get Caleb Downs to us. Maybe, and you've said it. Maybe these safeties do fall. Yeah. Maybe one of the best players in the draft is going to fall to you at 12.
See, Bryan, this is the problem. Teams suck at drafting, right? So
yeah, that's right. That's my next T-shirt.
They take into account 2 pieces of nonsense that I don't really care about. Position value for their high pick. We talking about top 10, top 12, top 15. They take into account position value as one thing. And honestly, Bryan, I didn't think about this till I just looked around at some articles, some people talking about it. But teams factor in like salary cap stuff as well. Like, do you want to pay the amount of money that it takes to pay a running back at a top 10 pick on his 5th-year option? Like Jeremiah Love's 5th year, he's gonna be making more money than like a top paid running back in the league or whatever, right? Teams think about stuff like that. I don't necessarily think about stuff like that because I don't work the books. That ain't my cowboy job or whatever. But Bryan, some team is gonna talk themselves into Peter Woods because 3-tech is hot right now, and people want 3-tech rushers, and the value of a pass rushing 3-tech is higher than a safety, Bryan. And I think first of all, good for them. Okay, because let downs fall to me, and I'm gonna run and go get them. But Brian, I think it's a possibility that teams are gonna stink this up. Brian, some team is gonna stink this up, and it's either gonna be Downs, it's gonna be Styles, or it's gonna be Delane. It's gonna be one of those guys sitting there for you. I don't think the league is foolish enough to let one of those pass rushers get to you. The quarterback's gonna be gone. I think the running back's gonna go. I think you're gonna get a run on wide receivers too, Bryan Broaddus. I think Kansas City's gonna want a wide receiver. I think the Saints are gonna want a wide receiver. I think Washington's probably gonna be in that market because Terry out there looking goofy. Debo old as hell, Brian. I think a wide receiver run is gonna happen for you, and I think one of those weird value conversation, safety or linebacker, is going to happen, and we're going to get the guy that we want.
You know what? I like what you're saying there. I'll give you another one off the Zerline mock draft.
4 for 4.
At 20, and I'm interested to see, he has some questions about getting George Pickens' contract done. Mm-hmm. He's got some questions about that. Mm-hmm. I wonder if he knows something there. Because at 20, he gives you Jordan Tyson from Arizona State as your wide receiver. Mm. Is he just playing a game there, or what's he? And let me tell you this: Cassius Howell, the edge linebacker, is on the board from Texas A&M when he picks. Yeah. When he gives you Tyson, and I wonder, do you feel like that? We both like Tyson a lot, but did you ever consider him at 20?
No, because it's funny, Brian. I was thinking about this on the way to my workout this morning, right? Because I was mad at people because they feel like if you drafting at 20, drafting your 22nd overall player is reaching or something. I don't like reaching conversation, right? But I do feel like if you're in the top 5, you have to follow a certain, like, hey, these are the kind of guys that you go for. If you're in the top 12, maybe it's 14 or so guys that you go for. I feel like the board opens up at 20, though, Brian. You feel me?
I do too.
If you at 20 and you take your 25th best player, there's no harm in that. But if you drafting at 5 and you take your 10th best player, what are you doing? You look goofy out there, right? So when I look at Jordan Tyson, Brian, fantastic question, by the way. When I think about Jordan Tyson, I think he's a dude to where if I get wiped out at 12, I'll take him at 12, honestly.
Okay, let me ask you this before you get going on this great explanation I know you're about to give.
Sure.
If you had a choice between him and Love, the running back at Notre Dame.
Yeah, I'll take a look.
I think you're taking Love, aren't you?
If Love and Tyson are available at 20, I'm taking Love.
No. I'm saying if at 12, if 12? You got wiped out, yeah,
I would have Love ranked higher. So if I got wiped out, I would take Love at 12. Mm-hmm. If it's me, if you got wiped out on defense, and a couple other wide receivers went, and it was Tyson and Love, I would have went Love.
Yeah,
I would have went Love. But you know what I was saying about Tyson at 20, though, the board's a little more open. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you don't have as many options at 12, but at 20, I wouldn't go Tyson because I think there's a pass rusher that fits my eye at 20, or there's a linebacker that may fit my eye, or a corner that fit my eye at 20. So I think wide receiver is a lot more of a conversation at 12 for me than 20.
Next question I have for you, my friend.
What's happening?
And this was a conversation that Jeff Kavanaugh and I had. And I asked him this question to kind of preference it to get to you. Are we in an era now where, and you mentioned it earlier, positional value for these guys shouldn't be a consideration anymore? If you want the runner, if you want the safety, if you want that guy, you shouldn't say, oh, you're taking him too early. You should just take that guy, right?
I think position value only applies for like the top 5 or so dudes, the top 6 or so guys, because that's when quarterback tax come into play. That's when your offensive line tax happens. You know what I'm saying? And it really depends on how your team is built. You know what I'm saying? Like if you need offensive line and you need like the Raiders need a whole bunch of shit, right? But let's say that the Raiders found a way to get a pick at 8th overall, right? Like position value matters there because an offensive lineman helps them more than Ashton Genty would. You understand what I'm saying? So so position value matters somewhere. I think at 12 and 20, it matters a lot less, especially in this draft, Brian, where we feel like there may be only 13 first round grades. So if it's 13 first round grades, then that order is going to happen a lot quicker. And position value is going to sound like the quarterbacks go early, Bain and Bailey go early, the offensive linemen go early. Once you get past that, Brian, because you still need these, like, position value is like a tiebreaker for me. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There are no elite wide receiver, like super elite wide receivers in this class in particular, right? So I'm not going to say I'm going to take Jordan Tyson over Caleb Downs because Tyson is a receiver and Downs is a safety. If you're talking about Jamar
but
Chase,
somebody will think about that.
Somebody think
some team will do that. Some team will take.
They will.
Some team will take a guy
because they suck at draft.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. There's my T-shirt again. There's my T-shirt.
Brian, if it's
drafting,
like if it's Jamar Chase versus Caleb Downs or Pat Surtain versus Caleb Downs, Michael Parsons versus Caleb Downs, that's kind of different. But if you're talking about Caleb Downs versus Mekhi Lemon, man, please give me Caleb Downs. You know what I'm saying? Value doesn't matter in that way because there's no tiebreaker. Caleb Downs is far and away the better player than the wide receiver or your fourth pass rusher at that point.
Yeah, see, to me, that's where
Sonny Styles too. Shit.
No, I'm in the situation right now. And as long as I've been doing this, I just believe in drafting players.
That's real.
You know, and listen, I'll sort it all out. Just if you give me a chance to draft Darren Woodson, I'm going to go get Darren Woodson. I don't care if he's a safety or not. I'm going to go get Darren Woodson. Yeah. You know, give me a chance to draft Emmitt Smith. I'm going to go draft Emmitt Smith. I don't care about positional value and stuff. I really don't. Yeah. I just want players, you know, and I'll figure it out, you know, and if people will, it's bad team building. No, bad team building is getting bad players and paying them. That's what that's what hurts team building more than anything. Yeah. Go get good players. Yeah. You know, go get guys. I don't care what position they play. Go get good players. Yeah. That's what helps you win. What screws up positional value and all that crap is when, as you would say, teams suck at drafting. And they draft guys that can't play. Yeah. And then we're all like, oh, well, wow, that's unfortunate there, but that's positional value.
Also, too, Brian,
if there's a safety on that board that's better than one of these linebackers, or there's a running back that's on that board that's better than one of these edge rushers, I'm looking at that. Yeah. I'm looking at that. I'm not going to sit there and say, well, we pay these edge rushers $40 million now. I'm just trying to get good players, man. That's all I'm trying to do.
Also, too, Brian, I think all this value thing, two things, really. I think it should be looked at more when we're talking about re-signing players. You know what I'm saying? Not like drafting, right? Like, like the Cowboys re-signing Donovan Wilson was always kind of crazy to me because I feel like what he does, like as a box safety, I think you can find box safety. So I'm paying my edge rushers, I'm paying my corners and receivers and quarterbacks and all this. But as far as draft goes, I'm just trying to find the right guys. Because look, as much as I would draft Jeremiah Love at 12, that doesn't mean I want to give him a 5-year humongous contract when he gets to the league. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's where I start to change a little bit. But draft wise, man, just give me the guys.
See, that's the thing about it is, and some teams are different because their general managers are not going anywhere. Mm-hmm. We happen to cover a team where the general manager's not going to get fired, So he could be a little bit more open to not thinking about positional value so much. Yeah. But when you're a general manager and you might get 2, 3, 4 years, you maybe have to think about that a little bit differently. But I personally, man, I just let me draft if that safety is better than, let me take that guy. If that running back is better than, let me take that guy.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do.
I agree.
But I get all when people start arguing with me about positional value. I like the fight, but I'm also like, just give me the players, man. Let me figure it out. I'll figure out how to get value at another position. I'll figure out how to get the corner. I'll figure out how to get the edge. I'll figure those things out. But to say you're not going to draft a guy because he plays a certain position, I think is ridiculous.
Luckily, Brian, for us, the Cowboys kind of locked in at quarterback, wide receiver, offensive line. We actually need the linebackers and the safeties, like the low value spots. Like we actually need those. So a team that's kind of halfway built, like the Cowboys or whatever, I wouldn't be considering value at all.
Yeah.
I'm taking the safety. If the safety ain't there, I'm taking the linebacker. That's just where I'm at with it.
Voch, I got this question for you. And this goes in more of a philosophy kind of a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're at a disadvantage looking at these players when you don't know much about their character or their medical conditions?
Is it a disadvantage for us or like for some of these other?
For you,
yeah.
Do you consider it a disadvantage is it a disadvantage looking at these players when you don't know much about their character and you don't have a real clear understanding of their medical?
It doesn't bother me because I don't care if people think I'm right or I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? How I like to word a lot of this stuff is like, hey, the film says this. Film says this. So if Mozzie Smith ends up not liking football, I didn't talk to Mozzie. I didn't talk to Mozzie personally. All I saw from Mozzie was, okay, well, he comes out of his stance, he plays with, this kind of base, and he shoots his hands, and he's strong as hell, and he da-da-da-da-da-da-da. What happens on the coaching front, or the him working hard front, or the him loving football front, or his psychological things, or him needing to talk to a therapist or whatever, that's on y'all. That's on the organization. You know what I'm saying? When somebody asks me, I don't like to call guys home run picks. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, Brian, for example, when I'm doing my breakdowns, right?
Yeah.
And I'm talking about these linebackers or safeties. The one thing you don't hear me say that some other people say is, oh, he's a great leader, communicator, XYZ.
Yeah.
Because shit, I don't know.
How do you know? How do you know? Seriously, how do you know?
You can't know. You can't know. So all I say in my evaluation is, well, he can run, he can cover, he can flip his hips, he can do XYZ. Things I can see, like tangible things that I can see. The intangibles, that's up to Will McClay and Jerry Jones and them. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think I'm at a disadvantage because I'm not trying to be right. I'm just trying to put out my thoughts on what I saw, and people can compare it with what they saw. That's all.
Yeah. See, I want all the information I can, and I just wondered sometimes. But when we maybe have a guy, if you knew that this guy doesn't like football, like you're saying, I could go back to the draft with Paxton Lynch, the quarterback from Memphis. If I knew that he was lazy in his preparation, I wouldn't have put him where I put him on the board. I wouldn't have, if you tell me the guys don't care about football and they don't like football and all that, but all of a sudden the tape shows that, man, they're playing the game at a pretty high level, but it's not important to them, that's what bothers the hell out of me. When you see a Mozzie Smith or a Tristan Hill or somebody like that, and they're like, "Oh no, we can get him to play. We can get it." But see, that's it would help me a lot more that if I knew that a guy didn't like football. Yeah. Because I immediately would ding him. It's a hard game. It's a hard game to play. You know
what, Mark? Yeah, go ahead.
And it's a hard game to play. And if you don't love it, it's even harder to play. And I particularly wouldn't, have a guy on my board that's that way. So I look at it that as a disadvantage. If I see a guy playing and like, oh man, he's playing at a high level because he's talented to do that. But if I knew that he didn't like football or he has a condition, I mean, I look at Mesidor from Miami.
Yeah.
and I know he's got 2 feet that have had surgery on him.
Mm-hmm.
I love the player.
Yeah.
I absolutely, but I know that if he slides, I know why. I have a feeling I know why. Wow. And that's the thing I would that's what I would like to know. You know, I mean, there's been several of these drafts that you and I have worked, and where a player, and I'm figuring out, okay, the talent says he's second round and he ends up in the 5th. Sure. You know, that's where I'm like, okay, what did I miss? Did I miss a character thing? Did I miss a medical thing? What did I miss here? Guy not like football? What did I miss? That's the only thing that bothers me. I love watching the tape and trying to put him where I think the playing ability is. But man, I would love to be able to know like the background of some of these kids, especially the ones I really, really like.
That's fair. That's fair. But that's where I lean on somebody else doing it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, Nick Harris or Bobby Bell to come out and say, oh yeah, well, you know, the league, they got character marks on him. So then I'll be like, hey man, and then he whooped ass.
And then you start yelling. Then you start yelling at Nick Harris and Bobby, like, shut up.
Hey, he could play.
It's my guy. Shut up. Don't tell me.
Look, Brian, let me say, and look, it's a lot of people that get on to me about this, and I don't really take it personal. I just tell people, talk about my wins. They love to tell me about Kelvin Joseph. Listen, bro, Kelvin Joseph film didn't say bad football player. You know what I'm saying? Kelvin Joseph put out good film. If it didn't work out in the league because he wanted to be a rapper, or he didn't want to work hard, or he wanted to slide on ops or whatever, that ain't my business because I wasn't privy to that information. All I saw was him covering people. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really feel no kind of way when I was excited to draft Kelvin Joseph. Kelvin Joseph don't work out and people go, well, Voch, but you like Kelvin Joseph. I don't understand. If you watch film and you understand cornerback play, then you would like Kelvin Joseph in Kentucky as well. It was other shit that led to Kelvin Joseph not being a good ball player. So I don't really take it personally, Brian. I like to get it as right as I could possibly get. But if it's out of my hands, I don't feel a certain kind of way because look, that's some good acting. Mozzie did a great job acting like he liked football or whatever, and then he came out and said I don't like football. After he got here, he came out and told me I don't like football. So you know that's on us.
Yeah, you know, I just like I said, I want all the information I can, but man, if just as long as I have the tape, and listen, the thing that I want to do, Voch, and I think you're the same way, is I think that people trust our evaluations. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I want to be able to give everybody the best evaluations I can if I have all the information that I have. But I know I'm not going to be able to get all the character and medical stuff. Yeah. But I will be able to evaluate, like watching the tape and how I feel like these guys are stacking, you know, how they are. Yeah. Let me ask you another question. Speaking of the stack,
please.
And by the way, we don't have the stack today. I know that Aisha's going to do some work with you on DallasCowboys.com, I think, today, the next couple of days on the draft show. So excited to see you guys doing that.
Just for you, I'm going to get into a large argument with her. I don't know what we going to fuss about. But I don't get
She's ready to fight, man. She's ready to fight.
Hopefully, but go ahead, please.
Yeah, no, it'll be must watch for you guys. I appreciate you guys doing that. But the thing I wanted to ask you about though is, speaking of the stack, has there been some problems with you in now as you're getting more and more players where you're stacking some of these guys? Are you finding that the players you're looking at that like, man, why wasn't this guy up there earlier? Like, for example, you know, your cornerback from Duke.
Duke, yeah.
You know, why all of a sudden am I looking at Rivers later than, you know, I should have been looking at him with some of the upper guys? Are you finding yourself with the stack of the players you're currently seeing? Has it been difficult to put them with the players that maybe you watched a little bit earlier?
Nah, Brian, you know, because I try not to take their word for it, or I try not to take PFF's opinion for it. You know, I look at PFF simply as a list. You know what I'm saying? And it's interesting how they change their rankings every few weeks or so. I go based on film. And it ain't like the film change every other week or whatever, so they can move guys up and down their board all they want to.
Yeah.
But you just said a perfect name. My cornerback Chandler Rivers from Duke, he was kind of weighed down the list a little bit.
Yeah, he was. Sure was.
And I think over time that's going to change. There's this offensive lineman from Arizona State with a long last name, Iron Anchor or something like that. Iron
Anchor is how you say it. Yep.
Okay, well, cool, perfect. He was weighed down my list or whatever.
Unbelievable at the Senior Bowl game the other day watching him play. Really good player. Really good player.
Practices, games. He was fantastic. And I was like, okay, I can't wait to watch Iron Anchor because he got my attention. He looks like a second, third round player or something like that. Yeah. Iron Anchor was weighed down in the 120s on my first list. Now I think they got Iron Anchor ranked in like the 60s or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So guys are gonna always move up the board. What I have the most problem with is when PFF make me watch somebody early, and it turns out that I got them people down in the 4s and 5s. Like World, the offensive lineman from Oregon. Yeah, he down in the 5s for me. I watched another guy, Caleb Tiernan. From
Northwestern.
They're looking at him as like a day 2 guy.
Yeah.
3, 4, you know what I'm saying? Maybe
I think you got him right. I mean, they were talking about him.
Yeah.
You know, we did Freeland from Georgia. We talked about him on Monday. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we were visiting with him, and, you know, I'm like, wait a minute, I watched this guy later than I watched that Tyrion from Northwestern. Right. Tyrion, he was in that mock draft. I mean, people were mock drafting him. Oh, he's a top 20. He's top 20. You know, he's 15. He's 16. I'm like, why do I have him in the 3rd round?
Sure.
You know, why do I have this player in the 3rd round? Yeah. And so, I just wondered, because there's some guys, the whole thing with
LT Overton's another one. LT Overton's another one.
I don't, and then we're going to get to Overton. I think he's on our list tomorrow to do.
Yes, sir.
From Alabama. Mm-hmm. And I'm having a problem with him. I really do. And you know, I'm starting to because I'm watching Josephs from Tennessee, and I'm watching Moore from Michigan, and, you know, Dennis Sutton, for a hyphenated name, from Penn State. I'm watching these guys, and I'm like, well, see, Overton from Alabama, and I know we'll get into him, it just seems like I keep knocking him down.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, was he a guy that was supposed to be up there to begin with? Why? I hate when they throw me a name and we're just using the lists. Mm-hmm. But then all of a sudden you try and stack these guys, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, you've got them. And hell, I trust my eyes more than I trust what they're doing. I'm just using their names.
Yeah, for sure.
But you're telling me you got this guy ranked as your 23rd best player, and he actually should be your 63rd best player?
And Overton's
There's
been
a problem
like
with that.
There's
a problem with that.
He's been like that for 2 years, Brian, because he was like that last year. They ranked him high, and then he went back to school or whatever. All right, cool.
Yeah.
And then they come right back this year, and they have him ranked in the man. I got a 4 on him, Brian.
Yeah, me too.
I got a 4 on Overton. You know what I'm saying? So it don't bother me because I'm always gonna go with my own opinion, but. Man, some of these guys, I don't have a 3rd round tackle right now, Brian. You know what I'm saying? Like that just kind of gives you a feel what I'm saying. I got Malinoa Fano in the 1s, Proctor, Dunker, Freeling, Lomu in the 2s. I ain't got a 3. Tiernan's 4, World is 5. So that just kind of lets you know.
Where did you put Dunker from Iowa? We talked about him. Is he a 4 for you?
I got Dunker as a second round guy, but I think of him more as a guard anyway.
Guard, okay, I'm sorry.
So I got him in the 2s or whatever, but I'm really gonna move him to my guard side, really. But he's just sitting right here at tackle.
You feel that strongly about that, right?
I feel like he put up decent enough tape at tackle to where somebody could try it, but I think his best play is going to be at guard. I think he's going to be a much better guard. I think he's a 2nd round guard. If he's a tackle, he's probably going to go much later if he's only a tackle.
Yeah. Well, I just wondered if you're having with some of these guys, like you said, there's the Arizona State tackle. I mean, hell, we should have been watching him weeks ago, months ago. We shouldn't have been, if this guy's probably turning. Going back and watching the Senior Bowl game. Yeah, man, you talk about the ball coming off the right side, the combination blocks, the pass protection. That kid really helped himself in the Senior Bowl. At least to. Wow. Okay. Now I'm hoping that, like I say, the Arizona State tape sounds like it's shown a little bit to you that it could be worth it.
See, Bryan. So when people ask, how do we work players up and down the board based on Senior Bowl stuff? If I haven't watched the player, then that's a totally different conversation. Because I had Max Iron Anchor. I haven't watched him, you know what I'm saying, at first, but then I see him in the Senior Bowl beating like dudes that's 2s and 3s on my board at rusher or whatever, right? And he's showing some good feet, some good hands or whatever. Now that's making me go, all right, I need to move Iron Anchor up so I can see him, so I can watch his actual game film. Then based on his game film, that's where I make a decision. But PFF had him ranked in like the 120s and the 160s, man. That's nonsense. That dude's a day 2 dude, Bryan.
Yeah, no, there's no question about that. That's one of the reasons, like I say, I wanted to know if your stack has been like, wait a minute, there's guys that are much better than guys you had me watching earlier. And so I wonder if it kind of mentally messes you up, because there's the guys that they had me watch earlier that I have a lot lower. And there are guys that I'm watching now later that I've got them a way, way up where they need to be. And I like I said, I appreciate the list. I don't appreciate the valuation where you initially put these guys.
It's all over the place, Bryan, but by the time we're done, we'll eventually find it. And honestly, I think that's the best content for us, Bryan. Like when we're just watching film, like last year we see the corner from Kansas State, the shorter guy, I forgot his Jacob Parrish, right? We didn't watch Jacob Parrish till March. And we was like, hey man, Parrish can play. And we And we ranked Parrish much higher than PFF did. And Parrish go out here and plays a good rookie year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we'll eventually get to him. It's all right.
Well, I think the same thing could be said about what you're saying with Rivers. You know, they're killing the kid probably because he's 5'9".
Yeah.
You know, that's what they're killing him. You know, about that, and he's every bit of a player. When you start to talk about the Hoods, the Abneys on my board. Rivers, Ponds, those guys are all right there.
Or they really not watching film over there, Bryan. But that's a hell of an accusation right there. That's a hell of an accusation. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Maybe they watching film on the same pace as us, and they got to put their top 300 out, you know, just to have it out. And the more film they watch, the more they kind of move guys around. Because there's no way you watch film on Rivers or Max Iron Anchor and you place them where
thought that they're 140, 150. Yeah, no way.
You got it, Bryan. You got it. You got it. Yeah. You got it. That's all you got for me, sir?
That's it for the day, sir.
Man, Bryan, I appreciate you, man, for running this stuff by me. Fantastic questions, by the way, by you, sir. Today's Tuesday, so we got some more work tomorrow. So we got some homework. Y'all write this down, man. Y'all write this down. This will be on the test. Let's see. Tomorrow's Wednesday. That's a trash day for me. So we got, look at the double. Caleb Tiernan, offensive tackle from Northwestern. Okay. Yeah. Joshua Josephs, in which I watched him weeks ago, Bryan. So that's so that's another one right there. But Joshua Joseph, edge from Tennessee. Dante Corleone, defensive tackle from Cincinnati. And Anthony Lucas, edge from USC. Me and Bryan going to break those guys down tomorrow. So y'all watch them now, watch them later on today. Be sure that you get it tapped in. Get your homework assignment in prior to 1 o'clock tomorrow, because that's what we're going to talk about, okay? Bryan, appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. You guys have a great day over there.
100%, Mr. Wolf. Y'all go to crownglobalmedia.com to find everything that we're looking for. I think we're going to come out with a channel for clips and shorter form content, so y'all just be on the lookout for that. And for that, and when it gets up and running, it'll be on the website. I've been saying this the whole time. Y'all go to the website, because sometimes they make changes I don't know about, Bryan, but if you look on the website, it'll be there. So whether I tell you or not, go to crownglobalmedia.com. Everything will be there for you. The audio, the merch, the shows, the social media links, which is Crown Global Media on Twitter for Bryan Broaddus, and I'm Voch Lombardi on Twitter. Okay, I love y'all. Yes, Bryan, you are still Crown Global Media on Twitter. And we'll be back tomorrow to check that homework. I love y'all to pieces. Till next time, Crown.